Finally, Lewis Hamilton is going to get his way at Ferrari as the team is set to modify the SF-25 for next weekend's Austrian Grand Prix, according to Fred Vasseur. And the best part? They're taking Hamilton's advice for these upgrades, showing their conviction in the 7-time world champion once again. And due to that, Vasseur and Hamilton have spoken out what to expect. Could the back in the fight? Vasseur confirmed that improvements to the SF-25 will be implemented in the coming weeks, but he talked down the degree of the competitive advantage the revisions could provide. Aside from circuit-specific announcements at recent races, Ferrari's changes to the SF-25 have been quite small in terms of development route. But that will change in the coming rounds, as Vasseur has indicated that updates will be available as early as next weekend's race at the Red Bull Ring. Speculation has claimed that the changes will center on revisions to the SF-25's rear pull rod suspension, in an effort to improve the car's stability after the Scuderia moved from push to pull rod suspension this winter. The goal is to be able to run the car in a more performance-oriented ride height window, something Ferrari is thought to have struggled with since Lewis Hamilton's Chinese GP ban for excessive plank wear caused by running too low. We will have an upgrade soon, before the UK, and, perhaps, another one a bit later, Vasseur said after the Canadian Grand Prix. But, honestly, today, I think there is much more in the execution and what you are getting from the car than in the potential of the car itself. Now, we are at the end of the life of these regulations, and we all know that when we are bringing something on track, we are more speaking about hundredths than tenths. Vasseur appeared to downplay expectations of what the improvement may offer in terms of performance, pointing out how execution will play a larger impact in results than physical modifications to the car. If you don't do a good usage of the car because the setup is a bit different, you can lose tenths, he said. A couple of times, on our side at least, and we are not the only one, when we brought upgrades in the past, we needed 1 or 2 races to adapt the car, to adapt the setup to the new version. Honestly, I think that, and I want to put the focus on the team, there is much more to come from the execution than the pure potential of the car, but we will bring something. Asked what may be possible in Austria, Vasseur said, "I think that we were able to be in front in Monaco. We were able to be in front in the first part of the quali lap there. We have to target doing this. But if we want to start from the first rows and to have a clean weekend like Monaco, we need to do a very smooth weekend in terms of execution. It's where we failed massively in Canada." Hamilton, who started 5th on the grid in Canada and finished 6th on Sunday, discussed how he discovered various components of the car not working as the weekend went. "More often than not, we go through FP1, and then, at previous races, FP2s have not been so great, because there's been something wrong with the car, like the floors not working, or the rear wings stopped working. There's always been something that meant we were down on downforce or something. So then you have a bad FP2, and you're kind of recovering in FP3. But we had a good, solid day yesterday, and then today we made progress. We didn't change a huge amount, and the car felt solid. We moved forward, which I think is a first for this season. So I'm grateful to get through to Q3. With Hamilton noting that changes to his own driving technique have resulted in an increase in recent events, the British driver has been forthright in stating that upgrades are required if Ferrari is to compete with the top teams. "It's just incremental steps," he said. "We've not had any upgrades or anything like that. It's been the same car for quite some time now. And, with the same package each weekend, I'm just challenging the guys. I'm constantly battling the engineers, asking them questions, because they set things up and are like, 'This is how we always do it.' And I'm like, 'What about this?' So we work on trying things, and bit by bit, we are making progress. We're improving our qualifying from Monaco onwards, which is positive. Ultimately, we need upgrades. We need an upgrade to be able to fight the guys up front." With all of the teams juggling updating their current cars in order to be competitive this year while also creating the revolutionary F1 2026 cars, Hamilton stated that the priority is to produce a race-winning car under the new rule set. "It's my first half of the year in a new team. It's interesting to see how different teams work and operate. he said. "There have been times in my career where you've had a whole bunch of upgrades very, very early on in the season, and you plow ahead very early. Then you stop and taper off, and then sometimes it's been slower. It's also, in the last year of this generation of cars, harder to find performance, and you could, at least, focus on the next year. The fact is, with this car, we hopefully can still fight for a second in the constructors, which would be great, but I want a car that can win next year, so that's priority. But with these upcoming upgrades, he might be able to fight for podiums more often. But it does bring the question, has he lost it? Does 40 seem to be the tipping age? Well, according to Toto Wolff, Lewis Hamilton's former Mercedes F1 team leader, it might be a different factor. He believes that driving style, attitude, and nationality may all be contributing to his sluggish start as a Ferrari driver. Hamilton's move to Ferrari, following 12 seasons and 6 world championships with Mercedes, was expected to revitalize both the driver and the team as they pursued championship success. Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, won his most recent title in 2020, while Ferrari's drought dates back to 2008, with Kimi Räikkönen winning the title the year before. But the excitement surrounding Formula One's most successful driver joining the sport's longest-running team has subsided. Although Hamilton has a sprint pole and a victory, he is still looking for his first podium in red, let alone race wins or the championship. After 10 races, he sits 6th in the standings, 119 points behind championship leader Oscar Piastri. It raises the question, what is going on between Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari? Wolff, the 40-year-old's former Mercedes team principal, was asked this question on a recent Bloomberg Hot Pursuit podcast. The Austrian believes 3 reasons are at play: a new car, a completely different environment after solely racing for British teams in F1, and Hamilton still finding his footing. "You don't unlearn driving that quickly," said Wolff. "In 2021, he was great. Then the regulations changed and it got a little more difficult, but he was still performing at a very high level. Just by changing teams, suddenly you don't lose your skills. Everybody needs a period of adaptation. Different car, different DNA in how the vehicle drives, a new engineering team that you need to start working together. Then, you have to be involved in the continuous development of the car, so it suits your driving style. It's an all-Italian team, and he's a British guy parachuted in there, and that takes time. Also, we've seen a bit of a pattern that Lewis, at the beginning of the season, needs to find his mojo, and the second half of the season has always been very strong. So don't ever write Lewis Hamilton off." Hamilton has been particularly irritated in recent weeks, as he has repeatedly called for the SF-25 to be modernized. "We're really in need of an upgrade, and there's a lot of things that need to change for us to compete at the front," he reiterated in Canada. "I think we have something coming hopefully next week, but I don't know if it's much. I don't know how much it is. I don't think it's going to be a lot. So, it's just one of those years." Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur has stated that an update is on the way, and it might appear on the car at the next race in Austria. "We will have an upgrade soon, before the UK, and perhaps another one a bit later," Vasseur said. "But, honestly, today, I think there is much more in the execution and what you are getting from the car than in the potential of the car itself. Will these upgrades immediately propel him into race-winning talks? Or will it just be a small fix to a bigger problem? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.